Hello, this is Mike and Susie, and we wanted to stop in and talk about something that I've broached the subject briefly, but I've never really got into it. In my book Contact, when I was taken by the three beings out in the field into the orb, um, one thing that Susie and I have discussed was an event that happened on the craft when I told her that before they sent me back home, I got the feeling that they weren't going to let me go. They're going to keep me. And when they said he's not ready yet and sent me back home, I was glad I went back home because I was worried about missing my family and life here with my with other people, my other relatives, and what really didn't even enter our mind until that time is in the book. I walk out the front door into the field and I leave the front door open, and now there's two slide bolts on the door and a door lock. Okay, and I open the gate and I go out to the field. Okay, now they returned me in my bed after I started worrying about leaving my family. And when I woke up in the morning, I wake up in the morning when I go out and I'm confused. I'm talking to Susie about what happened that night before. I look at the door and the slide bolts are on it, okay, and the door's locked and everything's back to normal, all right? So now we've talked hypothetically, Susie and I, about this. What if they didn't return me?
A real mystery.
What?
It's a real mystery. It would have been confusing. It would have been overwhelming. It would have been, the police would have looked at you as though, this was a Criminal Minds episode.
Right.
And it would have been very, very scary. But the scariest part, I think, would have been always wondering, like, what on earth happened
You know what I was.
to Michael.
What we did discuss too is, remember, you would have woke up if they didn't return me, and my wallet would have been there, my keys would have been there, the car would have been in the driveway. Um, Actually, my shoes would have been there, all of my clothing would have been there, my identification would have been there, just everything. Everything would have been there in that house, and the front door wide open. Okay, the front door wide open, the gate to the field wide open.
The police certainly would have sent out dogs to catch the scent of a body.
Yeah, but there's no clues. There's no clues.
Yeah.
I mean,
A crime without a body. Yes.
there's no body. There's no clues, and it just happened. He just disappeared. Okay, and
I'm grateful that didn't happen.
but it almost happened. I'm telling you, it almost happened. And
Almost, yes.
we've discussed this. Okay, now the thing of it is that would have been a terrifying event. It's like somebody losing a family member. And think of it happening to you, and they just disappear. It happens every day, actually. Missing people are all over this world,
That's
okay?
right.
And they are missing, and none of us really know the reasons why they're missing. And so, who knows, okay? There's some
There are so many different reasons, but I think that the reason is just no one ever knows.
No. But this is what we're talking about. These are beings that would come here and take somebody, and they do not doing it out of being meanness. They want to be with you, and that's why they're taking you. But the ripple that it would leave if they would have done that, it would have been just huge. But I wanted to discuss this in front of other people because we have many times. And I don't know how I would be able to handle myself with something like that if they just leave. There's usually, I mean, somebody leaving, you understand. There's clues. There's always clues. Okay, well, they took their wallet, they took their keys. There's no money, but nothing's gone. No money, no nothing. I mean, it's all still there.
Took all their belongings, the furniture, stuff like that.
Well, that's yeah. When they clean you out, lock, stock, and barrel, you kind of know. Oh, well, they
No,
left,
with
and this is
nothing,
yeah.
right?
But nothing. I mean, just the door open, just the creepiness of the door being left open, and the the gate to the field open, and just gone, and not a trace. Okay, there are some whatever they talk about. The exact number I'm unsure, but the last number I heard was some 144,000 people that they're speaking of missing, that they've never
Oh, there's
many more than that, but people that
Yes,
they have
there's
not even any clue as to their whereabouts. And
throughout history,
and we're talking
people
about in
have been missing.
what we're talking about is in certain parks they've been missing from, and that's what I'm talking about. On trails and things like that just disappeared. Okay, no remains, nothing. Okay, there's no clothing, no articles of clothing, no nothing.
Yes.
They just vanish. Okay, so how many of those are an instance where they said, I'm tired of being here on this planet and I want to leave?
The rapture.
Well, if you want to call it a
Possibly.
rapture,
A possible rapture.
yeah, scripturally, it does fit with that. Yeah, okay, but that's their hypothetical explanation for.
They're guessing.
They're guessing. Okay, the rapture is when these Christians are supposed to meet up with Jesus in the air, and okay, I'm not mocking it or in any way, shape, or means, but I'm just saying they have a way of putting it into a very like fairy tale setting. But what I'm speaking of is more to the point of, you know, this is more intense because it leaves a mystery. Okay, they don't all go up at once okay, like the rapture.
Really,
In the rapture, they make it.
yes.
They kind of infer that all the people are going to go up at once to be raptured in the air to be with Jesus. Okay, but we're talking about people disappearing little bits at a time now. Okay.
Throughout time.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Throughout
So
time.
this has been, yeah, you're right. It says one woman or two women will be working out in the field. One will be taken, and the other one won't. Husband and wife will be in a bed sleeping, and one of them be taken, the other one won't. So no, it's all over in the scriptures that way, but they do kind of separate it there. But there's other points where they make it sound like they're going up into to the clouds altogether, where they'll be united with Jesus.
A mass abduction.
Anyway, I wanted to discuss this and basically just let people know about that topic there that probably nobody thinks about. And thank you for listening. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.